Foundation or for the Falcons?
The Arthur and Blank Family Foundation,
okay,
of which the Atlanta Falcons Youth Foundation is a part of.
Right, got it. 3, 2, 1. Power of sports is really important, obviously, and Arthur Blank has been in the cutting edge of philanthropy, but you also need somebody to implement it. So Senior Vice President for Community Development, the Falcons and the Arthur Blank Foundation, Frank Fernandez, how are you?
Good morning, good to see you.
Good morning, thank you very much. Does it help to implement your job where you have a guy who is as philanthropic as Arthur Blank is?
Yeah, that makes all the difference in terms of being able to do this work well. Arthur's commitment, he said from the get-go, this is going to be the most finest sports stadium in the world, but if we don't get the community right, the project's a failure, which really speaks to his commitment, his ambition, his passion for community and giving back.
Tell us about Westside Works.
So Westside Works is where we started in terms of our Westside initiative connected to the stadium. He said, I will hire folks to help build the stadium and operate it, and that's where the community was. They said we want access to jobs that allow us to take care of ourselves and our families, and so that's where we started. So Westside Works helps folks get jobs. Once they have them, keep them, and over time help them get better jobs. And over the last 3 years, we've been able to place almost 500 Westside residents in living wage jobs in construction, IT, healthcare, culinary arts, and now we are placing over 150 residents in jobs here at the stadium now it is up and running.
Is the core of that program to have a group of residents receive diverse training and placement, or is it to expand beyond a specific geographical area? What's the deal?
So we're hyper-focused on the West Side because these are some of the most disinvested and marginalized and forgotten neighborhoods, and that's part of the commitment, is how do we make sure that what's happening on the West Side mirrors what we're seeing here at the stadium in terms of being able to all rise together.
What came first, the West Side project or that WestNet connection inside this building?
So what came first was the West Side project in terms of trying to revitalize the community, and then part of it is how do we leverage the stadium as a catalyst for positive change, and thinking of multiple ways to do that. WestNet is a great way of how we live our values, and WestNet basically is staffed and operated by Westside Works trainees and graduates, and a portion of the proceeds go back into the culinary training program to give back to the West Side continually from the stadium.
We've seen published numbers, Arthur Blank and the Family Foundation specifically, $300 million for philanthropic giving, $200 million for Atlanta itself. I'll bet you it's even higher than that because people understate. What are the criteria and how do you measure success?
So the criteria for the foundation as a whole is really, for us at a high level, is how do we give back to try to make a positive difference in the lives of folks here in Atlanta and across the country connected to Arthur's businesses. So for us, we have 3 big giving areas. We give back in education, green space and parks, and arts. And then we have an area that's really tied to all of Arthur's businesses, including the stadium, the Falcons, United, and so on. And at the core of it is how do we work with community, how do we work with nonprofits to really move the needle on key issues around equity, around inequality, around creating a better world for everyone, at a very high level for everyone who needs it.
And a lot of people, let me find the right way to phrase this, everybody wants that. Few people know how to achieve it. Somebody like Arthur with his intelligence and his resources, and now this platform, what does this platform of sports ownership and this facility do to enhance that goal?
Really, what we're trying to do here with Mercedes-Benz Stadium, this project on the West Side, is really change the sports stadium dynamic in terms of really a credible, long-term, inclusive commitment to change. This stadium is a catalyst for uplifting the neighborhoods around here and really being intentional about that in terms of not just WestNet, but also in terms of hiring here at the stadium, in terms of leveraging this stadium as a community asset in addition to a private asset, in terms of not only being open for games like today, but also 100 to 200 community activation events a year on this campus where we host youth soccer, youth sports, farmers markets, festivals for the YMCA, all those kinds of things.
So this is not really a stadium as much as it's a community event center.
Yeah, it's a platform to bring goodness to the city of Atlanta.
Broadly, kind of last big one, how define the power of sports in your perspective. What is it about sports that it makes it especially important as an agent for social change?
I think the power of sports really lies in, especially in today's day and age, in being a unifier for everyone in this country in terms of whether it's race, class, orientation. everyone loves sports, and everyone can rally around their teams, rally around something that we all can get behind, which is a rare thing today. And I think that's and how you leverage that, bringing folks together for good, is really the key thing.
Frank Fernandez, an incredible community spokesman, and maybe even more important, he's a Miamian, and to set the scene for us, the Dolphins are playing the Falcons today, and you're rooting for the Dolphins today? No,
Rise up.
No, rise up. He is a smart one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Yeah.